couple years ago, I took them all, I took my school to email
But
off
I
my
have
phone.
like 25
Like, I just
years.
couldn't, I said, I am not wasting or ruining nights with my family for things I
I've been
can't.
looking for what she sent me an email for, but I have
So-
25 years worth of
Thank
stuff
you.
to look through, so.
And that's what I've got.
Wayne
Okay, I've got-
wants to remove
I've
himself
got
as a contact, he only
stuff.
wants to
I
call
have it
when he
in
comes to me from the
notebook,
school.
but she gave me the dates, and I know.
Well, April's our emergency contact, so
A list
like,
of the rules.
so she's, for the last several many years,
Well, our
gotten
son's
one from the
been
elementary
changing
school, the middle
because
school,
they
and the
have
high
the-
school.
But the city.
And she gets all of them.
How can I say this politely? What we recommended was not what was done,
I understand,
okay?
and that may be this,
So. it
What are
was-
you looking for? Is it something I might have?
It was from 2008 or a little before.
Oh, probably don't know, probably don't know that.
We did signs for the park,
Yes.
and we came up with what we wanted on the signs, and we sent it, we voted and passed it, we sent it to the commission.
God, that was,
But the person doing the signs did their own thing, they didn't do what we suggested.
Or did they even do signs?
Yeah, they did, their signs
there's
there.
signs out there that have the rules on
Rules,
them,
park
Yeah,
rules is
I
what
don't
I'm
have
talking about.
and they have, it's been grayed out over one of the rules because we had that you can't have handguns or
Yeah.
firearms in the park, but that's,
And that was not one of the things we even discussed.
yeah.
I
But
did-
that's
I
what's been
think
grayed
they-
out,
I
but-
think they purchased those signs instead of making them, and that was already on it.
Gotcha.
Put it in.
and that's probably the case.
It
looks very generic.
It is very generic,
We
and
did
it's
very
hard to see.
specific, because we spent weeks
See, that's what I was trying to
on
find.
that, but now, I have 20-something years of Parks and Rec records, so.
And you just put your finger right on it?
I look, but I
I
don't
knew
know
anybody had
else
it.
right now trying to get school started, that I just left a meeting, I mean, I haven't even been home. I think I've maybe slept 4 hours in 5 days. I'm about to crash. We just don't, I mean,
Oh, Lindsay won't make it, she texted me and said she wouldn't be here.
Miss Patton, you remember when we did the park sign thing, you know, where we came up and we brought samples and everything,
Yeah.
and we voted and sent it, but then they purchased something that wasn't what we.
I have a few things before I actually started, so that's why
Uh-huh.
I'm looking, like, this is something from '08, '09.
Okay,
So I didn't start till like 13 or 14.
right.
But I have a few things in my folder, so I'm looking.
Well, she gave me the '08 date. I didn't have any, I just used, all the years run together now is all I can
Yeah,
say.
it was in, I found it in the minutes for a commission
It
meeting.
sure need to be put up and enforced, I tell you that.
I'm working hard on it, Larry, working hard on it.
Yeah. Cedric and Lindsay. Yeah.
Miss Granberry, maybe.
Who we missing?
I'm not gonna make
Cedric.
that one, I'm just telling you.
Short term.
Yeah.
Lindsay's not here, and then the second
Depends on how long it is. I can only hold out for so long.
Has she
Understand.
changed her mind on
And I
running?
appreciate it, I mean, it was.
Is she still rerunning?
She hasn't submitted her packet yet. You know what I want to put it?
Well,
Remind
if
what?
y'all let me know when she's.
Well, she usually knows
Let
where
me
they
know when
are.
she's gonna submit it.
May not have, though. Maybe she came to the planning commission last night.
Get lost in the mail.
Okay, I can check it really quick. See, I
Patty sent it, or did you send it?
Patty.
Patty saw it, sent it last week.
Was Ms. Granberry included?
If we wanna wait a second.
email, we can.
So we don't, we
I
don't
don't
have,
remember.
I don't have an agenda.
And so her appointment goes till November.
I usually keep notes on it to turn in. Okay, so we're missing
Cedric, do we have one to,
Cedric and Lindsay.
No, she was not on.
Okay.
Cedric, Michael Hay, Kate Collier.
But you have a quorum, right?
we have four.
We have four.
Four, yes, that's what we need.
Yeah,
Too good.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started and call our meeting to order. Cedric and Lindsay are not here. Maybe Cedric will come in. Sometimes he just runs a few minutes late. Okay, you should have your minutes. You were emailed those, and we have those here with us. So anybody see anything that needed to be added, changed, or otherwise taken care of? If not, then I'll entertain a motion to accept as written.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Okay? Okay, all in favor?
I don't vote anymore, do I?
All right, okay, no guest, no committee. Okay, splash pad update. Oops, sorry about that.
Is it? Sorry,
Is now.
it is now. So we're reporting now.
We're reporting.
Okay.
Okay.
The splash pad update, there's dirt being moved. I don't know if anybody's been by there,
Mhm.
but there's a barricade up. And today, actually is the first day since things have been happening that I actually got a chance to talk to human beings. I talked to Mr. Floyd. He says he is Mike and not Mr. Floyd. And a couple of his workers. And today they went ahead and graded the topsoil off, got the grass off of it, and there's nowhere to really to stack up that dirt, so they hauled it off. He's brought out a load of gravel so they don't tear up the entranceway in. And the next thing they'll do is they'll dig our hole, which is not really a deep hole. It's about 6 inches deep, and then the plumbing would be trenches deeper than that. But the concrete's 6 inches thick, so that'll be the next thing, is at some point in time here in the next week or so, we're gonna need to, I guess, take bids for concrete, see what we're gonna be able to do on concrete.
He did turn in his permit today, too.
He did turn in his permit today, good. Well, and we really started doing the real work today, so I guess that all worked out well. Mike's a really good guy. He's, the guys that he has supplied us, I mean, I'm sure they're getting paid, so very grateful for what they're doing. The PO has formally been approved for the components. I have talked to Carly Jean back and forth. She is the Vortex rep that Thomas had put me together with right before he left. She kind of took over our project. She hasn't been the one who was involved in the beginning, so she's kind of on the same page I am, which is really... but we had to get her the tax exempt form, and we had to fill out an application, I guess, for credit, so we'll be paying it all up front. We'll be paying a portion of it, I'm assuming, and then the stuff will be delivered to the center.
And are we at 3 components or 4?
We are,
Four with the tree?
no, it would be 3 with the tree, okay? And
Donna's, ours from
the tree, and then the tiger, which Thomas left me with the artisan guy who made the tree originally. He's the one who's going to make the tiger. I haven't talked to him yet. I haven't really gotten involved with him yet. Thomas says we have the money for it, so if I'm not mistaken, Lennon Robinette drew the tiger.
Yes.
Is that correct? And I have yet to see the sketch, so that's one thing that I'm still waiting to see, is the second component. And then we'll commission the artisan's guy to go ahead and start making that. The tree is at the high school, if I'm not mistaken, it's not all the way painted yet.
Probably not.
There were some talks about having to get the tiger painted, and how much would that cost? And it was like, nothing. We're not going to pay to paint the tiger. I'll paint it if no one else at the high school can paint it or something. I'll paint it. So. And the third one, if I'm not mistaken, the elementary school was going to maybe put some ideas together, and we were waiting for school to get back in to figure out, so that way they'd have some involvement too.
Okay.
Talked to Mr. Grooms and Mr. Anders, and they are both, well, I haven't personally spoke with them. Kate spoke with them, and Kate and I speak every Monday, Kate Finn, and she says that they are good to go with as far as getting kids out there to lay block and do some plumbing and things of this nature, so they're going to be involved. They're going to be involved. And so far, that's where I am. Components ordered, dirt's being moved, and we are good to go on some possible free labor. I don't know if there'll be enough free labor. I have been talking to some of the other contractors and construction guys in Mount Pleasant that I know, that I've known for the years I've been here, and let them know what we're doing and how we're looking to get it done. And
They want to get their name on it.
well, and they've offered to help. I mean, he said that he could actually send a couple of guys out there when the time came. He said, we might get it started, let the kids have a hand in it, and then we just might finish it up, and let's go ahead and get this thing done. So, ordering block will come next. I got, Thomas had Bill Lovell make a suggestion of how many blocks we would need, and that's like almost $6,000 for the block, and then we'll have to have mortar, and all that stuff will have to be on site, so when they get ready to start building it, the materials will be there. After concrete. Concrete will be the next thing.
Okay. The Airmines Eagle Project?
Dominic did a great job. He and a few Boy Scouts and some other people had marked the trail, They had removed some of the bigger trees, and then he was running out of time in which to get his Eagle Scout badge. I'm not really sure how that works, but I think you have to fulfill your obligation by a certain time frame in which to get your badge. And he had asked somebody from Cowboy Up, could they get some help? Could they help him? And Cowboy Up is how the Columbia Police Department really got involved, or Fire Department, my bad, the Columbia Fire Department. And of course, they reached out to our guys, unbeknownst to me yet, because I had no idea what was going on out there at the moment. Thomas and Dominic and I got it all squared away, and that Saturday we had a really successful day. Rodney Howell and several of the other Mount Pleasant Fire Department guys, and 3 or 4 Columbia Fire Department guys, and Dominic's grandfather cooked for us and served us lunch. And the trail's really nice. Robert's run it. He says it's even a runnable trail. The bridge was the thing in question, whether or not it had to be ADA accessible and whether or not it was going to require engineering and these kind of things. But because Robert's run the trail now, because it is a nature trail, he says that won't be required, and because there's not going to be a concrete walkway up to the bridge, it's just going to be at the back of the park leading to the trail. And I haven't yet talked to Dominic about how he planned on getting the poles, but supposedly the power couple up to him at cost or something of that nature, and they had some monies available to purchase the poles, and then they'll lay the poles across there and build a bridge across the poles. And Robert did suggest, though, that the bridge at the other end that's been there for I don't know how long, guys, it's an old concrete bridge, and it's built on some railroad I-beams, and it's not very wide, but it's only got handrailing on one side of it. It will require handrail to be welded on that other side at some point in time, and Dominic thinks he has a Boy Scout that knows a welder that will do that. So still working on it's not a finished project yet, but it's really close, and it looks good, guys. If you get a chance, go to the Briscoe Alley Bridge and walk it. You know, it's pretty cool.
That's how you enter it, Briscoe Alley?
That's the best way to enter it right now. The other way to enter it is if you pass the park, right before you get to the railroad tracks, you can drive off the road right there on the left, and the power company has some big towers out through there, so it's kind of cut down, and you can see where there's an opening in the tree line, and you can enter it there as well. You can park down there. There's places that you could actually park, and you don't get stuck. The ground's getting hard. But we cleaned up so much trash out of that creek, guys, and there's still yet a big refrigerator at the end of it by the Briscoe Alley Bridge. There's a bunch of logs that have gathered across Sugar Creek, and there's a big refrigerator sitting right on top of the logs. I'm not sure how we're going to get it out, but it's going to have to be winched out, or it's a big refrigerator in Sugar Creek.
That could be somebody else's Eagle Scout project.
There's a bunch of stuff in there. There's a bunch of debris, and, you know, I'm sure that doesn't help with, you know, the flow of water through there either whenever that much debris is flowing across that creek. Yeah, so, I guess it was Robert, maybe, or somebody was telling me about maybe a T-Deck project, a community-involved project about cleaning up the Sugar Creek. I haven't heard much more about it. Something about it was community involvement. That's what they were looking for.
Okay, the Columbia American Legion Baseball, we had talked about that last time.
We had, we were waiting, we had said it was okay for them to use that.
Pending paperwork.
I was waiting on paperwork, and Kate sent me his number the other day, and I still have yet to talk to him and find out why I don't have paperwork on that yet. No one's really been out there and done anything yet. I'm getting some other people interested in it. I've had a lot of questions as far as associations go, and I'm glad Luna's here. I know she has a lot of experience with it. You too, Missy. Talked to the guys at the maintenance department today as far as what it is that they're really supposed to take care of. Because I know we allowed the girls softball to use Barker and Brewer Fields, and it was at no cost to them. And they were going to take care of the fields. Well, inside the fence, they're got stuff. They got all the grass where grass is not supposed to be, and that looks pretty good. Okay, the actual baseball part of it, but nothing else did. Okay, nothing else around there it's not, and because I thought that they were taking care of it, I haven't really been us going as far as Rotary Park and addressing those issues, but I haven't gone to the ball field but once, right before I turned it over to them, before they get ready to start, picked up all the trash and cleaned up out there really good. Today, I weeded around everything and I sprayed poison along the fence lines and on the outside of the fence. Grass was waist high. Bathrooms were full of spiders and debris. They've now been cleaned too. And I know the girls are just now fixing to get started. I mean, this was their season. They're just now going to get into what all they're responsible for taking care of outside, inside, what's inside that fence. Is that all?
I would just say, and this might be a little bit different just because of the county, we're responsible, and this might be the same, we're responsible for anything inside of the fence, around the fence area, and then the building. And so when they use my field, and they're still using my field to practice, they have to take care of bathrooms, they have to take care of concession stands, they have to take care of the field mowing inside of the fence and around the fencing area outside. Then the school mowers mow outside of the fence.
Okay, well,
I would say it's probably similar.
Yeah, TJ, my husband had to start taking over weeding and mowing the outside because it wasn't getting done.
I did it today.
So I would say,
When the boys are playing, we have field crew that try to help maintain that when it's not maintained by the city, when they're mowing or whatever. Thomas has had to go there himself and mow before a big tournament or something that we had. So from my understanding, outside the fence, the city supposed to mow, but anything inside the fence, the league will take care of.
Well, which leads me to the next problem about that field is at Rotary Park on the pavilion, there's a little sign on the post that says there's a bathroom at the ball field, okay? If I'm at Rotary Park with my 5-year-old, okay, and he has to use the restroom, and I'll walk in all the way over there, and it's padlocked, I'm going to be very upset, okay?
It stays locked because.
No, there's no, there's hasp on the doors right now, and the hasp are not screwed onto one side. There's a lock to the hasp, but the doors are not lockable right now.
That's broken again. That happens a lot.
Yeah, and I was told that, and once again, I'm not speculating that that's exactly why it's getting broke, but if I walk all that way, my 5-year-old's got to go, we're going in that bathroom, okay? I go back to Rainier Park every morning and I check that bathroom, and I guess I'll add this to my agenda as something to do in the morning before I get settled into what I'm doing for the day, is making sure the bathrooms are usable in case somebody at Rotary Park needs to use the bathroom, because they're not going to walk across the street and then over to Howard Field to the brand new little bathroom, which is also locked, okay? So I would be very upset either way, but I'm assuming that people are going to walk to the Dixie Youth Field to use the bathroom if that's the case. And it looks like locks are not working well. There's nobody really monitoring it out there. Instead of replacing locks over and over again, maybe since it is,
and I would maybe say like dawn to dusk kind of thing, and then we'll walk them back, just because
very possible.
We had some issues when we left my softball bathrooms open for the City League football to use the bathroom while they were practicing. I always unlocked them every day when I left school or had somebody. They didn't always lock them back. We had some extracurricular activities in there.
Which I think is happening upstairs at the press box little area.
Oh, yeah.
Brewer, okay?
So
The building's in bad shape.
Yeah, so we had to kind of say, okay, I'm so sorry. We want you guys, we're not saying you can't use the bathroom, but we have to do what's best, and so we're not liable for other things that may go on because we didn't lock the doors or have the doors
Well, I'm not
locked.
locking the ones at Gardenia Park. Okay, they're saying unlocked. Someone had broke something off in the men's bathroom door at Gardenia Park, and we were unable to get it out of there. And what we did was we ended up breaking it in like somebody else would have had, so now it doesn't lock anymore either, and I was told that door knobs are $80+, so it's kind of like, I don't want to brace door knobs every few months, don't have a lot of money to operate on, and that's not what I want to really do with it.
Yeah, my question is, who is responsible for cleaning those when rocks and everything else gets thrown in those toilets? because they damage them a lot.
Well, that's my question to you, April, is, because right now they're not locked anyway.
Yeah.
They're not locked, and it's like the little building upstairs that has an air conditioner unit in it. It's wide open all the time. The air conditioner's running wide open all the time. You know, and every time I go over there, I go up there and I turn the conditioner off and I shut the door. I don't think it's any association people leaving that open.
No, probably not.
I'm almost certain it is. Okay, if I was 15 or 16 and knew that was available with air conditioning, you know what I mean?
Extracurricular activities.
Yeah, exactly, you know, so, and it's, the building's really in bad shape, it's kind of falling apart. It might not be safe for anybody to be up there right now. I had to have someone look at it a little bit better than me.
Didn't we have them inspected by insurance, and the only one that
Which
was a
one were you
problem was
talking
above
about?
ours?
Brewer Field,
Yeah, we did some road remediation a year or so ago.
Yeah.
yeah, it looks pretty
That
bad.
was Barker.
Oh.
That was
Oh,
Barker,
we're
the
talking about
older
smaller
ones, we're talking
ones.
about the newer ones, the smaller press locks.
Yeah, it's
Some
not
of
very
us
old,
there.
but.
Yeah, the termites have got to the bottom of it,
Oh.
is what it is. Yeah, it's what I believe. Like I said, I'm not a pest expert either, but if that's something we might need to address. But back to where we were on this, though, is Columbia American Legion Field. If letting Mr. Williams use that field, I'm gonna try to reach out again to him tomorrow.
And
And-
with that, I just looked it up because I knew it was coming up. Their actual tryouts, because they're using Spring Hill, it looks like it's this coming weekend. So I'm assuming after they get the tryouts is when they're going to want to be using
Okay.
the field.
Because we need a lot of work out there.
Paperwork from them, yeah.
There needs to be a lot of work at that field, yeah, right now. But, so that's still the game plan right now. It's still unfinished business at this moment because I have yet to get insurance papers.
Okay, and just a question, and we don't have to address it today, but something to think about. Is that something that we have in our bylaws, or do we even have bylaws that talk about restroom availability? I mean, is
I
that
don't know.
something
That's something,
we need
definitely,
to
I
talk
have stacks
about?
of old Parks and Rec stuff
we
that
need
I'm
to look
trying to
and
sort
just
through.
see? I mean, just because we have an open park, do we have to give a
Well,
bathroom?
prior to us building bathrooms
There-
around, there wasn't. You know, at Howard Field, there wasn't one at Gardenia, there wasn't bathrooms anywhere.
And
you
so
know.
I'm not saying it will help, but if we didn't have that sign there,
Mhm.
I'm not saying that a parent or someone wouldn't still try to go get into the bathroom.
That was the next thought process. I know a lot of people have been using Rotary Park. I've been changing the garbage out there daily because it's getting full out there daily. You know, and I think a lot of it was teachers going out there and having lunch prior to school starting.
Probably, yeah.
I could
With
keep
the
y'all here
county,
all.
it depends on how many people is going to be at that park.
Yeah.
If in their bylaw, I know nothing about the
Yeah,
city bylaw.
I'm just not sure.
Do
if-
they reserve that? Like, or you just show up? Because if you reserved it, we could make sure the bathrooms were unlocked and ready.
You can do both. If it's reserved and you're there, like the people who have it reserved take precedence over you, but you can just go
I'm
use.
saying if we know somebody's gonna be at the park, then we can unlock restrooms
Very
for
true.
an event. But then I would remove that sign because you, I mean,
I think it's
especially
leading
if
to
you
some extra
just out there at
aggravation.
midnight at night, you don't, you know, the restrooms are still over there, but they're locked.
Well, you know, in Gardenia Park is, got a swing set, it's got a gaga ball pit, and there's not a whole lot of activity at Gardenia Park right now. The sidewalk going to the gaga ball pit, we had to backfill the dirt around it and do some work out there, and I've been out there, like I said, every morning since Thomas has left. And there's not a whole lot of activity out there right now. There's not, you know, the bathrooms are, if I wipe them down every day, it takes 5 minutes, you know. And then if it's something that needs to be addressed, like rocks in the bottom or something like that, then I guess that will, I hadn't thought about that yet, Bob.
Well, you'll find
It
all
will
kinds
happen.
of stuff, and then the ones that go in there and destroy it using the bathroom,
Yeah.
and leave it and don't flush it, or
Just
throw
go, just to
toilet paper
destroy.
all in it, or just to go in there.
They were bad today, the bathrooms were bad, there was paper all over the bathrooms out there, and they really didn't look like they had been wiped, but there was lots of toilet paper and paper towels in the bathroom, so someone has left stuff out there. Just all the little waste baskets that are in there were to the top, and there were tons of spiders in there. Not anymore.
Maybe, what about cameras and things?
Well, that's something that as we grow, you know, there's cameras at the center that really have to be addressed. They're not really set up properly. I mean, I could keep y'all here for hours and hours tonight. I've learned so much in the last 15 days that really needs to be addressed. So moving forward, and I can only do so much in a day,
Yeah.
you know.
But there's things we can think about too, and solutions
Well,
and,
Yeah.
which leads us to the new business that we're gonna go on, so do,
Okay.
yeah.
sorry.
Yes, okay.
Shuffleboard request.
I don't know if y'all remember how much this has been going on, but Thomas has addressed this numerous times with Mr. Brooks, Vernon Brooks. And he had some kind of involvement with the senior center. And this new lady, Jan Massey is her name, I believe, yeah. Jan Graves, Jan Graves. She's taken over the other director's position now, so she's gonna be the senior director for Murray County. And they want to put 6 shuffleboard fields on my West Hall floor. And, you know, and I explained to her that I really personally didn't want that to happen, but it really wasn't up to me. The reason why I wouldn't want that to happen is because that's really our only source of income for that building, or the primary source of income. And as COVID eases up and then we get out of this and people start really gravitating back to using our center, which was booked pretty solid for a while, you know, that's our income. And I don't know if I want shuffleboard on my floor if I'm going to have a wedding there. I know I can hang silk stuff. I've seen it's beautiful when they do that stuff there. But how can you cover up 6 shuffleboard floors, you know, on the field? They're not 75 feet, they're 50, okay, is how? 52 feet, with some space at the end, I think makes it about 56 feet. I can put 2 in the East Hall side and Teen Center side. In the center of the floor, she says that furniture and stuff won't hurt it. Well, that's good, because there'll be furniture and stuff on it. But I just don't think it's appropriate, and I think y'all will probably agree with me. I don't really think that's what we need to do to the West Hall side.
And
she
we
was,
never agreed to allow them in the West Hall, it was always in the East Hall.
and she was adamant that Thomas had told her yes, and I was like, well, you know,
I
Thomas
was
is
out
not
there
here
with
anymore.
them, yeah. I've
Is
been with
there a
them.
reason 2 is not okay compared to 4? Is there a reason?
Well, so they want 6, you know, and there's
Yeah.
something about tournaments, and there's other senior centers that have tournaments, and if we had the right setup, that seniors from all around would gravitate to this area to utilize the shuffleboard, okay?
Is there a way to put some temporary ones that could be, like for the tournament, like to,
Possibly.
you know,
It's
even, I mean, they
possible.
could rent that side
They
out.
won't wanna rent it.
Yeah, well.
Possibly.
I don't think.
It's-
I don't know,
And it's another issue that I'm having right now is the seams in the floor.
yeah.
You know, to make a shuffleboard go, I don't think seams can be in there, and I think you gotta have dust or something on the floor. I don't know how
It needs to be more of a polished floor.
yes, I've seen it, like a bowling alley
Yeah.
floor, okay?
And they can actually put them down with tape, but tape is expensive, and I'm sure they're not gonna wanna pay for that, to
No,
take it up
they're
and
not
down
going
every
to.
time.
Well, she's got a $600 budget, and I have not
That's one
told
thing.
her what we could do yet, just that I was almost certain that the West Hall was gonna be a no-go.
Especially the amount of money we get for weddings and those
Exactly,
types of
Missy,
events.
that was
That takes
my
precedence
mindset.
over-
You know, I thought it took precedent as well. But I'm gonna offer her the 2 on the East Hall side. I'm gonna ask her to bring a shuffleboard person by to look at the several seams that are in the floor and what would be done and what would you need from me to have that, because I gotta know more information still. So, that will move probably up to unfinished business for a while, because she's gonna wear on me, I can feel it, as far as getting some kind of yes, because she says she's been trying to do this for well over a year with Thomas.
And that's probably the reason why it's taken a year, because she
Well-
won't take no.
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all I got on
But
that.
I actually was in the East Hall with, I don't think it was Ms. Graves, I think it was Diane.
The other guy,
Diane, Thomas, and I, and Mr. Brooks.
okay.
All 4 of us were, we never talked about the West Hall.
She was, and I don't know whether she thought that she was just gonna take this opportunity with me being the new guy to just come in here and put 6 quarts on the floor real quick, and I was like,
I'm
whoa.
sure exactly that's what she was.
Oh.
Let me try the new guy.
All right, teen center, COVID,
Okay, I'm about to lose Clark and Kane, okay? There's not really been a summer program. I mean, we've opened the center up every summer, and there's not really, the first 2 weeks I was with Thomas, I saw 2 young men coming, they're about 17-year-old age group, and I think they might have taken the controllers with me, because there's no controllers to the game anymore. I don't really know, now there's just a deck, a game deck there, no games, no controllers. But I'm about to lose Clark and Kane. I talked with Ryan Jackson and Tim both drink wine at both about after-school projects and what they thought, and we, along with Kate, kind of agreed that it was best to revisit the teen center after the first of the month, after Labor Day, to see what happens at the school. Ryan doesn't think that COVID's going to get us as much as symptoms and quarantine. He says that he thinks that as you start asking the questionnaire and kids start having mild symptoms of things and start having to be sent home for the 10 days, that you're going to lose a lot of student body. And so let's just see what happens. Well, that's great, but then after Labor Day, I have no help at the center, okay? Clark is gone completely. Kane can only work Wednesday and Friday, maybe from 3 to 5, if he can get there, okay? So I can't use that. That's not going to be good for me. And look, Clark and Kane are great teen center guys, I'm sure. Thomas hired them to help out with the kids, and they were really good with it. They spent time with the kids on each side of the building and really made sure that the kids didn't get out of line and do things they shouldn't be doing. But I've been using them in other contexts lately because I don't have any reason for them to be at the teen center, and I think I might have run them off. So, had them out in the park shoveling and doing some other stuff, you know, and they like to go home early when we do that. They don't really want to participate in a lot of that. You saw me, I had them out there ready to shovel, but they was ready to go home right after that was over. So I'm going to need to think about how we're going to staff the teen center and whether we're going to continue to do it the same way or what we're going to do. But I know I'm not going to be able to man the teen center by myself if we open it on September the 4th, I guess it would be.
That's the 8th,
The
this
8th.
year, Labor Day is the 7th.
Yeah.
What, and I know I probably know if I really think hard, but I'm not thinking hard. What days was it open prior to COVID? Every day after school?
Monday through Friday till 5.
After school to 5?
After school till 5.
Well, I do know a few times I come over to grab things, or if we had events going on, it seemed like a babysitting center for the walkers or the kids that had nowhere to go.
It is, and
And I'm not saying that's a good or bad
Well,
thing.
I have some ideas
Yeah.
about a more organized teen center with events, and I don't know that you'll have. I want to get rid of all those couches, guys. I don't like them. They're somebody else's garbage. They're full of food. It contributes to rodents. You know, there is a policy at the center that no PDAs. You're not supposed to be laying or touching or sitting on laps. Well, what we did was we gave them a place to do just that. You know what I mean? And the few times I've been into the center, and my daughter is just as guilty as I come in there, and they're all sitting on the couch in a big pile. You know, it's like we have tables and chairs that work just the same. Okay, I might keep one and one chair, but I don't need everybody else's garbage up there. You know, I'd seem to see it go. You know, and alleviate the crumb catchers. You know, and alleviate the rodents and alleviate all the touching and sitting on top of one another. So I'm going to get with Steve and see if he can bring the big truck by. And I'm sure this is what other people had intended to do with it, was haul it off at some point in time, and we just held it for them for a while at the center. You
It
know,
was cheaper
and-
to drop it off there.
Are you wanting staff, teenage staff? Are you wanting to look for?
Well, that's questions that I have yet to completely work out. I'll need to get with Kate about it. It's the amount of work that actually takes place in our parks, guys. Like I said, I know I have to keep y'all here forever, you know, and the maintenance department, you know, they've been really great to me so far. I haven't asked them to do anything, but they've offered to help me when I have big things going on, and it's kind of like, I don't know if they feel sorry for me or, you know, but I'm out there working and they see me and they willingly give a hand. But they often can't always do it. I weeded the ditch at Rotary Park because they were taking care of the dog park and Howard Field, and they were doing other things, and I had someone rented the pavilion, not rented it, but reserved the pavilion, and I just wanted it to look nice, you know. I mean, my name's on the director's line now, you know, and I just wanted it to look good, so I weed-eated all that, and I swept it all up and cleaned it all up really good so that whoever had it for that weekend would have not knee-high grass around the playground and the benches. We have 2 new grills out there, you know, and put those in because they've been sitting at the maintenance department for over a year. We've paid for those. Parks and Rec paid for them. They've just been sitting there. no offense to those guys, because I've seen them doing lots of stuff. Thomas had a mentality that they weren't working all day, because at 2:30 he would go by there and they'd be ready to go. Well, they've been working since 7, they get off at 3. They're getting back to the garage, so it wasn't like, they're not gonna stay till 5 with Thomas, you know, so, whether I have one full-time employee that works all day, because there's plenty to do, and then we'd have to be the glorified babysitters from 3 to 5. But I hope to change that. We have pickleball. I guess we paid for that as Parks and Rec. We bought the pickleball set, you know. But it will require someone to set it up and actually orchestrate something. Because otherwise, then it's just kids throwing the paddle and the ball around. No one's really playing, you know. And they're not letting this guy play because they've got the paddle, you know. It'll require some actual directing. You know, it'll have to be a program that will require, or we're going to be a glorified babysitting center for 2 hours every day, you know. And then I want to alleviate as much stuff for them to do wrong if that's going to be the case. If you're consumed with kids laying on each other on the couch where you don't catch the other ones that are stuffing paper in your sinks and flooding your bathroom. You know, you've got to be on the prowl, you've got to go in and out of the bathrooms, which leads me to the next thing about assistance with the center. If something bad's going on in the girls' bathroom, how do I handle that? You know, your daughters are in there, I'm sure y'all don't want me in there. Don't really want to be in there, you know. But at some point in time, I mean, if, I'm not saying that boys are the only ones who will put paper towels in the sink and turn the water on. That happened during Wet and Wild Day in the boys' bathroom. But I'm sure girls are just as capable, you know. And my mindset is when you're walking by, push the door open and step in there, make sure there's nothing going, and then walk right back out again, you know. And that way you know they're not doing bad things in there. For the 2 hours that you're babysitting requires, you know, being on patrol, you know, which might be good to have a female, you know. So things to think about. We got a little while to think about it. We won't have another meeting, I guess, before the center is ready to be talked about being open again. So
We have,
might have to have
we have
some-
one September 9th. So we could push it back at least to the next week if we wanted to wait to have a meeting
possibly.
that Monday. I mean,
Possibly,
we could say
yeah.
the
And it
Monday.
could all change.
It could all change.
Yeah.
Once again, that's why we elected
Or,
to
I mean,
wait.
if somebody asks you, you could say our tentative date is the Monday after Labor Day. That way we can say we're starting on a Monday.
And that's what I think we should post on there, and I will tell Tim and Ryan both that they can make an announcement to the school that right now, tentatively speaking, we're thinking about the 7th, you know,
The
or the week after.
Monday
14th.
The 14th.
Yes, the
And
Monday
that's
after.
what we're thinking about right now, and,
But we still don't have staff, so if you've got names of good, responsible seniors that could work.
Well, I mean, I guess that's the thing I was thinking, you know, if you're wanting someone not a teen.
well, and right now, I'll take anything to get the center open, and if that's all we get is
What
the...
time do you need these people?
I would need them there to show up at about 2:45, 2:30, to really show up in 2:30, you know, would be better if I could, but that was the problem with Clark. Clark couldn't get there sometimes till after 3 because he had stuff at school.
Missy, something that you could look at, I don't know if you guys are doing this, but if you have a couple of reliable seniors that need work-based learning credit, they could do that as a non-paying job and get credit.
An internship in the beginning, you know, and that was something I considered as well. But that, Thomas used to leave a lot because Kane was over 21. So Thomas could go, get ready for this, do this. He had spin class, so he could knock off early and come back and give the spin class later on. And he could do that. That means the adult has to be there. You know what I mean? And I'm okay with that. I mean, I'm just saying, so I can have young people for a couple hours a day, and that be just that.
That
You know?
might help you though.
It would definitely help
If you
me.
could get those kids that need work-based learning credit and they're good, reliable, and you could have them for a couple hours.
They have to be tattletales. They have to not mind being tattletales, and that's the thing. You know,
They're
I need some accountability, guys. I don't know that there's been a lot of accountability over the last couple of years, but I'm all about accountability. It's your center. I have it open for you.
Right.
I want to get you new basketballs, but then I want you to take care of the basketballs I give you. I don't want you to throw them up on the thing. I don't want you to throw them at my cameras and stuff. I want you to be good. If you can't be, then
Right.
we will have very structured activities while you're here. You can either come and be a part of the structured activity, or I guess you can walk on home. You know?
Maybe they can get credit for outside of the school days.
Yeah, I suggested Kane.
Kane was great.
Because he was older, he was in college, He didn't have much of a relationship with the kids that were in school at the time. I personally think it needs to be somebody 19, 20, 21.
I would agree with that. The difference between Clark and Kay are night and day.
Yes.
Kay will find stuff to do.
Mhm.
These last few days, we had to talk about taxpayer dollars, and we are paid by taxpayer dollars. Y'all can't sit here at this table. No kids are coming. So I expect the spin bikes to be immaculate. I want my glass to glow and shine. I want this building to, you know, and so after about 45 minutes, we're ready to go off.
So you're saying 2:30 to 5:30?
5, no, 2:30 to 5, the center closes at 5. That's when it
Would they
closes.
not to like clean up?
Well,
And then he's got other outdoor work too, it could be more than just.
it could be more than that. I have lots of stuff to do. I mean, I have a budget with some hours in it, you know,
Yeah,
so
I was
I
kind of
have,
saying, you know, like, I would think an older child would see it more beneficial if they were doing 3-4 hours a day over,
like I said, and I got more than that. If, you know, if it's handled right, and if I stay within my budget, you know, and they're not opposed to working.
yes. I mean, like, when I was in college, I came home from MTSU every day, and I had to be at the daycare at 2 o'clock, and I worked till 6. That was 4 hours, that was plenty. I could still go home and do my college work, but I got some experience with after-school kids. I drove a van to Whitthorne and picked some kids up, you know, and realized real quick, middle school's not for me. You know,
Yeah.
so I'm just saying, you can maybe find a little bit older college kids at Columbia State.
Would be nice. And I know that's a temporary gig for those guys.
Okay, though.
Which means I know I'm gonna lose them like I lose Clark and Kane, which I understand, that's, is their resting spot.
Mhm.
I just need someone who's not opposed,
To a little bit of
to
work,
work.
labor.
because sometimes we'll clean bathrooms, sometimes we will weed eat,
Mhm.
sometimes we'll work a shovel, you know.
Well, I mean, if you want to get with Kate and maybe come up with a list of some things,
Okay.
and, I mean, we can send them to the colleges, to maybe some of the trade schools. I mean, I don't know, I'm just trying to think of kids who may not be working a full-time job, but would like to get a little bit of extra money.
Yes, definitely get some ideas of people, and I will talk to Kate as well, because we talk, like I said, every Monday. So when I talk to her on Monday, I'll let her know the labor predicament that I'm fixing to be in, and see if she has any interest. And once again, I would really like to have a young, responsible young lady who would be able to go in and out of the girls' bathroom. I mean, that's weighed on my mind for the last few days. It's like, what if something happens in there? What am I supposed to do? You know?
Is there any reason to keep the door shut for the ladies' bathroom? They all have stalls. I mean, you're not infringing on their privacy.
Not really. Well, you gotta go around the little wall. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. To really see what's going on in there, you would have to pop your
But
head
keeping
into
the
the
door
bathroom.
open would keep people from wanting to do anything, and you're not violating their privacy.
I think so. I think I would pop both boys
Yeah.
and girls' doors open, so when you walk by, if you could hear water running.
Yeah.
That's
Right, get in and out, and,
Then you could also give a forewarning, hey, y'all need to come on out of here. If,
right.
you know,
I would keep
We've had a
it open.
couple of teachers, retired teachers, to
Yes, I
inquire
mean,
about
I was
coming
even-
by doing tutoring.
I was thinking
well,
like somebody going to school
once
to
again,
be
Jackie,
a
that's some of the
teacher.
ideas I have on my
Right.
agenda list for,
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it over there, right?
because I would really like to see that mezzanine in that little back glass area there. Could be a couple of tables, you can have quiet there on the backside entrance for strict tutoring, where
Right.
somebody who really needs help, you know?
Right.
And, you know, and I know a couple of kids who are brilliant that offered tutoring. Ross Kenny was one of them, you know, but it, you know, it didn't seem like it was a really structured thing, and it requires, like I said, patrolling and someone being there and being on top of it, but I have ideas of some more structured activities at the center for the teens. And during the summer program, when we don't have teen center, I would have structured activities throughout the day. We would post them, you know, arts and craft type things, more wet and wild type days with donations from volunteers.
All right.
Okay, the Blue Cross.
Okay, the Blue Cross Blue Shield Healthy Place grants. There's a couple of flyer packages around. You can take them. There's not enough for everybody. If you want to get a copy, if you want one, we can make you another copy. The grant's just about ready to be presented. Don and I have been working on that a little bit, and there was some questions about. They're doing it different this year. In the past, they awarded money for 2 parks, okay? and you kind of had something designed, you picked what you wanted, you had some kind of, now they took care of all of it, but you had some input in it. Well, now, they have 6 park plans, and you pick one of the 6, okay? The one that I think best suits us is the first one, the Thrive and Play, and the reason why is because of the grade, okay? If we are actually awarded this money, they're going to award 10 communities the $750,000. This park does not cost $750,000. They will leave some in an endowment fund for upkeep on the park for the years to come. It doesn't have concrete in it. It's got the foam, rubber, mesh stuff on the bottom. It's got playground for 2 different age groups. It's got exercise equipment, bike racks, a pavilion, trash receptacles. They take care of all that stuff. They take care of drainage up to 50 feet away. If any additional drainage is needed, that would be on the city, okay? They'll only take a flat spot within 2% grade. Well, I don't know if y'all know much about grade, but 2% is not very much. That's saying it's pretty flat, okay? There's not really a big enough flat area out there to accommodate any other park other than the one that I've picked. And if it's on the northeast corner of the park, where like the baseball thing is, against the walking trail there would be the most flat spot. And the park then in question, y'all got it in front of you there, I think it's like 83 feet by 150 feet.
And this is at Gardenia?
That's at Gardenia, okay? And that's the one we've been applying for this grant for the last couple of years and haven't been awarded it. This will be the 3rd year we've applied for it. Now, some things to take into consideration, guys. As we are fixing to do this, if we submit this grant and we do get it, that area, they would want it graded within 2%, which means we would have to have somebody come out there and grade that area, okay? That area would take the least amount of effort. It's almost flat now. You know, you have to scrape the topsoil off, kind of like what Mike Floyd did today for us. I don't know if we'd have to pay somebody or if we could get somebody to donate their time and do it again, but that would have to be done. I don't think we would have any drainage issues, because from that point on, everything goes down, okay? There's already a bathroom there. Parking. If we get this nice a park up here, guys, it's a great park, okay? It's got a lot of potential, and I would like to start doing more things out there as we move into next year, next summer. Some more activities, a Wet n Wild Day out there, some music events out there. We're starting to draw a little more attention out there. There's only 2 access roads there, Tulip and Gardenia, okay? Not a lot of parking. If we have a big event out there, if we have a music event like we were supposed to have this year, what's going to take place out there, I don't know where anybody park, you know, and if we have a nice park out there, a nice playground, I'm not going to want people driving on there and parking out there. And if we put disc golf down on the bottom side, because it's got a nice contour to it, we have disc golf things at Rotary Park right now, they're not used, because they're in a swamp mostly, okay? And I've had some people who play disc golf approach me out the bank whenever right before I left and knew I was taking this job. They said they play in a league in Lawrenceburg. They've tried to use ours, it's just not fun. I gotta find out who paid for those. I think it was the Arrow Lake Foundation, I think we...
Yes, Arrow Lake Foundation, I think.
I'd like to move them from there. I'd like to move them to Gardenia Park. I think that would be a much better place to play Frisbee golf on that bottom side, on the west side of the bathroom. They could be structured out around there, and they could sit out, and it would be a much better place to play Frisbee golf. People will actually use it, and if these people who are using it, playing tournaments for Frisbee golf, find out we actually have a good Frisbee golf course, maybe they'll bring some people. See how nice Gardenia Park is, and we will start getting... I haven't seen a whole lot of activity out there right now. I know we're in COVID right now, but people are going to be driving to that park, because those 2 streets are not going to be the only streets that access that park. People are going to drive over there, and they're going to need a place to park. And right there in front of the bathroom, you might can get 2, 3 cars right there. That's all you're going to get in that park. If we get this park, at some point in time, we might have to think about a parking pad. So, something to consider moving forward.
Is there space, and I'm just trying to think the last time I was there, to expand a parking lot there, like that?
Yes, straight back, you would go straight toward where the trees are right now, you know, straight in that area. We've got the little fruit trees right there, you wouldn't really encompass it, just, it drops off that concrete pretty sharp right there. There's a water spigot that's over to the left, but you could probably go, it's Thomas Kenny. You could probably go another 25 feet out right there and square it up and come over to the side of the bathroom And so you would have right there in front of the bathroom, on the side of the bathroom, and about 25 to 30 feet out. And then you could probably put 15 or 20 cars on there, and then if you had to have extra cars, they could park down Tulip and Gardenia Street and along that little road that runs between the two streets.
Gotcha.
Yeah, maybe get 50 cars out there then, without having them park on the grass.
But if I'm not mistaken, the grant is due August 30th, right? We've got to submit
It's gotta
it.
be
We have
in
to
before
submit-
August the 30th.
Yes, ma'am, that is, we're running on a deadline
Yeah.
to, yeah.
But they got another one that could be in by January, but it's a matchable one. But there's also a group of businessmen in Columbia that's supposed to give me a date, which I just found this out, I hadn't talked to you, had contacted, that if this don't go through, they want to put 2 shelters, basketball court, and I forgot what else they told me.
Well, and see, that's a good game plan, backup game plan, because I know we've applied for this a few years in a row now. And
I
if
feel
we-
like we're perfect for it.
I do too.
And the feedback that Donna's gotten has been very, very good.
And this might be our best year to get
And
it,
it's
okay?
750,000, no match.
No match, free
Yeah,
money.
yeah.
And like I said, so y'all look at these, because I gotta know Donna wanted some input from everybody, because when we submit it, we gotta let them know what we're thinking we want. So, look at these ideas, and then y'all all have my contact information. If you're okay with Ride and Play, I will tell Donna to add that to the thing, and we'll move forward with that suggestion. Simply because I like some of the other parks better. And Donna had to reel me back in because she said, Bedford, the park's not for you. Because they have one that's like a Beastmaster obstacle course, a Ninja Warrior obstacle course. I was like, that's the coolest thing, I want that. Not for you, Bedford. Yeah. But the other one has playground for small, playground for larger kids. It has exercise equipment also, the stationary exercise equipment, a big pavilion, great big pavilion. And the pavilion, the way it would be situated, the pavilion would be closer to the driveway, running long ways. Kind of so when you pulled up to the bathroom parking area, you would be looking at the pavilion, and you walk through that to the playgrounds and the bike rack and some sidewalk. And it would be pretty cool, guys. So look that over. And that's all I got really on that right now, but I do need an answer if you're okay with Ride and Play.
Actually, we're moving forward unless we hear
Here's
to
another.
the contrary.
Okay.
Anybody else want to look at this?
I've got an extra one too, if anybody
Is
needs
that
it.
something we need to,
Do we need a vote on that, Kay?
It can't hurt.
Okay, then let's do that.
we need a motion to,
Approve the grant application.
approve submitting grant application.
For the Blue Cross Healthy Place grant.
For VC Healthy Place.
And thanks to Donna, she's doing all the legwork
All
on
right,
that.
so who wants to make that motion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, and second?
One second.
Okay, all in favor?
Uh,
Opposed?
Good deal.
Okay. All right, 5-year strategic plan, you better make it quick, you better.
I am gonna make this quick, guys, because I have a lot of stuff to throw at y'all real quick, and this is gonna be for y'all to ponder over, okay? Our 5-year strategic plan, 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, right? We still have time, we're not finished with it yet. Go through here, if you haven't been around to our parks lately, Clark Park was covered with glass, it's no longer covered with glass, so cleaned it up. It's a great little park. It needs a picnic table, it needs a little grill, it needs some stuff, okay? And I think it would be used more often by people who would walk to it. There's no parking there, there's never gonna be any parking there. But there's a lot of area right there that people would walk to. People are obviously walking there, and they're leaving their garbage, because there's no garbage can, there's nothing there. I'm picking garbage up there every single day. There's obviously people going out there. Once I cleaned all the glass off the basketball court, even though it's a terrible excuse for a basketball goal, somebody's been using it.
This
okay?
kid uses a lot.
Yeah.
Somebody has been using it, you know? So, in our strategic plan, Clark Park was one of them, okay? And so we think about where we are, where we need to be, and what we need to do to get there, moving forward. And start really focusing on the things that we haven't achieved as of yet. I think we've made a lot of ground. Our parks are looking really good. There are some issues that have arose that weren't part of the problem early on at Rotary Park right now. All the dirt from the heavy rains has washed through the ditch, and it's ended up at the end of the ditch, and it's prevented flow of water. So now my water's not flowing into the bigger ditch anymore. it's going left to right, and it's turning the swing sets into a swamp, okay? It's gotta be dug, but that wasn't a problem when we started this, it's just what happens through normal every year wear and tear at your park. You have, things have to happen, so there's new things that, maintenance, upkeep goes on forever. Part of our 5-year strategic plan was some park rules, so Victoria has made a rough draft of what park rules really should be. Sorry. And, take this home,
Thank you.
look it over,
I think we've made them too.
and make sure that we're all in agreement that this needs to happen, because I think it will require an ordinance, so we'll have to take it to the commission. Okay? So add that to our 5-year strategic plan.
Pardon?
I thought we passed an ordinance to get new park rules and get them the same in all parks.
And the next thing I want
But
to,
we've never taken the next step on it, I don't believe.
no, we haven't, and the next thing I'm going to throw at you that I want y'all to look over is this logo versus the logo that we have on our park signs now, okay? Just an idea. I'd like it to be on, I would love for something,
That's what's on the Facebook page, right?
yeah, right now it is.
Yeah.
I'd like it for it to be on all my park stuff, on my park signs, on my business cards, on all my park documents, my rental agreements. That's the logo and the header I'd like to be on there, so these are things I want y'all to take home and
And what do we
take
have now?
the seal of the city.
That's what I thought, like everything I have has the seal of the city.
Everything we have has a seal, every park sign that we have has a seal of the city on there,
Oh,
and,
but it's-
they all need to be upgraded, all our signs look bad, okay? They all need to be changed.
I don't know about
And as I get new signs, that's what I'd like to have versus the city seal on there.
Okay,
Uh,
I'll send them.
If y'all all agree with that, we'll discuss that next time that we're here.
Can I keep this?
Of course you can.
I mean, you know, with all mine.
Please do, we have more. But we're not gonna dive a whole lot into the, 5-year strategic plan right now, because we are still working in that direction. But I think it's time that we do a health check, if you will. Where are we?
I think this, like, I think I suggested last time if we could get one of these.
That's why you have it right
That
on
we
top
could
of you.
write on.
That's right.
I just feel like, you know, I have my nice one from 2017 I didn't really want to write on.
So now you have a
We could
working
have
copy.
it. I don't know. I'm a paper pen kind of girl. I like.
And I'd appreciate some input, because it's a lot more than, Thomas started a lot of programs for us that require a lot of maintenance. To take care of the dog park properly requires somebody to go out there really every day. Thomas said you could go by every couple of weeks. Not sure you can.
That's a lot of dog poop.
Yeah, you really need to go by every day. The big dog park side, the little receptacle will be pretty full every day. I guess the big dogs make big poop,
That's a
okay?
good thing.
The little dog side is there already anyway, so I change it while I'm there, but it's not near as big as it. And then some days, I'm not gonna lie to you, some days I don't change it, because there's only one little baggie in there, and I mean, the baggies cost me a lot of money, I'm gonna let. But that's the same way with garbage. If you let the garbage sit in the can, birds get it, they drag it out, and it's really rancid the next day, so that if you, there was a garbage can at Gardenia Park along the road between tulips by a concrete picnic bench. Don't know how long that garbage has been in there, but I'd be elected to think it's been over a year. Okay? It's terrible. Okay.
They removed the big garbage thing that was up there.
Well, and what I'm gonna do when we have big events, I'm taking care of the garbage pretty daily now, so those 2 small cans we have are enough if you take care of it daily. We had the big backpack giveaway at Arrow Mines Park, huge success, guys. There were tons of people out there having food and fun, and there was backpacks, school supplies given away. It was a great turnout, great event. I took 4 blue cans out there, and I expected trash to be everywhere, because the last party that they had out there, there was a lot of trash left behind. This event, twice as many people, lots of kids, lots of trash and paper around, very little residual trash on the ground. I had it picked up within an hour. I did find a few liquor bottles out, or beer bottles out there, but it might not even been from them. It might have been from somebody later on that evening that was out there. But the 4 garbage cans need to be dumped now, and they need to be dragged to the road. Because my understanding is if it's not by the road, they're just gonna drive right by. Now I have 4 garbage cans completely full of debris that when we leave here, I'm gonna ride by there and drag them up to the road. But maintenance every day, look at our parks, they're really looking good. It's a lot of work though, guys, our parks are a lot of work, a lot more than what we realize. And unless you've actually weed eated them and walked them off, rode a mower on a couple of them, which I've done already on once, you really don't know how much it is, it's a lot. And you know about the ball fields are,
And this is a, we can adjourn, I guess. I'm gonna ask a question, or I'm gonna put it on record. Okay, is there any way that I can get a trash can to the field that the little kids, the city football is using, that big open field right now? Or I guess what I'm gonna ask is, can I take the one that you guys would give me at the softball field and put it over there to be used? The guys will come and pick it up during my season, the trash guys will, but like, they're just using an open, just little, and it's just going everywhere. And I know they don't have a hard, I mean, they're gonna have a hard time taking it anywhere, because it's just an old, like, barrel.
yeah, those barrels are hard to use.
I have 2 blue ones, I just don't want
Do you know if you're paying for those or not?
Am I paying for those?
Yeah, so maybe this, we had, before Andre died, or somebody had called, I thought it was him, for the middle school ball field, they want a container. Let's stay with us.
Yeah, I don't know where, like, I know one day they
And I
showed.
spray paint a green one, I got blue, and they come and get it.
You're paying for the surface, though.
Oh.
You're not paying for the can, you're paying for it.
Well, see, this is, they showed up one day because when Michael would call and they would go and dump out the ones I had. So I'm assuming they didn't, like dumping the ones I had, so I don't know if they found some old ones, extra ones,
We did check with,
turned back in ones.
But would it be cheaper to pick up the can and have to have the city to go there and pick up the trash?
on her
Don't
field,
worry, County
her
Road.
field, the county field.
It's on county property.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was
okay.
just going to,
You might be surprised, it may already be in the system, that the school's paid for that trash can, I don't know.
Maybe.
doubt it,
It,
doubt that.
but,
Well, they went over there and picked up the bushes when the trees cut
Yeah,
down.
and I mean, they do a lot of
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
just because sometimes.
Yeah.
And,
We do a lot for the schools that we don't normally do for others.
and I would just kind of say, hey, we've had like 2 or 3 ball games this week, can you go get my trash? And they would go get.
well, there's a lot of blue cans out at Barker Brewer Field. There's 2 down there on Riverside that are
Yeah.
by the batting cage, and there's 4
Mhm,
on the other side. And they get rolled all about the place,
mhm.
and which is the problem. According to Charlie from the maintenance department, the deal was, you're supposed to have wheels on them, you can roll them over and then dump them into the dumpster so that we can come and pick up the dumpster. You're not supposed to be coming around and picking up each individual blue can. Problem is, I can't pick the blue can up either.
Yeah.
I've got one that's so full down out there at I might have some help, you know, to lift
I
it,
didn't want
heave
to
it
give
over.
them my can if
Heavy.
nobody was going to come and
We
pick
need
it.
to look and see how those cans are accounted for, if they're,
There's 6 of them out there.
and they should be in the system somehow, somewhere.
And the 4 that I have at Arrow Miles Park right now, tomorrow, after they get dumped out, I'm gonna throw them in the back of the park truck, and I'm taking them back to the maintenance shed, because they're not really for Arrow Miles Park. There's one at Arrow Miles Park that's supposed to be used, and if it gets dumped out every Monday and every Thursday, all I gotta do is roll it to the road, which means I gotta do it Sunday night and Wednesday night, because otherwise I miss them. They're early over there. They are really early.
They went from 7 to 3 to 6 to 2.
Yes, they went from 6
Oh,
to...
that's the problem.
Yes, that's the problem.
Because
So
of the
I
heat.
figure, why am I running with my trash every morning?
Because of
Okay.
the heat.
Yeah, they're beating the heat. And I went out there at 6:30 and I was like, everybody's cans were already emptied. I was like, man, I missed it at 6:30.
Yeah, I was that way, and I was
I don't know, that was just more of a, so me and Philip are not picking up trash every
Well, it's just,
Sunday.
we've got to figure out the best way to work that out, because I've had other questions, and I don't want the field full of trash sheets. I
Yeah.
just don't know what we've done in the past.
And what happens, and this is, I know we want to go, when the trash hits the ground, it blows around, and I don't know whose responsibility it is, but there's trash all over Mount Pleasant. The road between Arrow Mines and Gardenia Park that I cut through is a dump site, obviously, okay, and it's like, and I can't stand it much longer, it's like I'm fixing to pick it up, you know what I mean, it's a lot of trash.
Well, that's me, I've not played softball since March, whatever, but I don't know how much trash I've picked up.
So,
Not having rain is a big thing too, because rain will wash the
Yes.
rust away.
It's better to address it daily, and then my best friend, since I've been Parks and Rec Director, just a little thing, pick trash up with, I love that thing.
Like I said, I just wanna give them my can that I somehow got, if, somebody wants to take it away from me.
Can we get on?
But, I mean, they are Mount Pleasant.
Can we get on Judge Bailey list for community service? I mean, that could be one of the community service chores.
They have to be supervised.
I was just supervising to pick it up, and they won't never get in trouble no more.
I'm just trying to help. Can we make a motion to adjourn?
The message, he said it still says Thomas.
You don't have to worry about it. Are you guys?
We're done.
We're making a motion to adjourn already, we did that.
We're one step ahead of you.
Thank you, guys, I appreciate you. Like I said, I could keep y'all here for hours. I got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Mr. Larry.
There's no,
Thank you. Thank you, William, I appreciate you guys.
Mr. Larry, you trying to come in?